Chosen ones, this message is for those of you who have experienced the toxic masculine energy. And if not, this message is for those who may have not directly dealt or experienced the toxic masculine energy, but may have seen it played out in real life scenarios or through observations of your own through environments and what you have seen others experience through. In this video, we are going to dive into the toxic masculine energy in order to understand and decipher and decode their behaviors and their mechanisms. Keep in mind, this message is for expansion and greater understanding. This is not to shift blame and or ridicule a whole gender, as not all people have malicious intentions, but as we move forward, generally, dark energies can show up more often and much stronger than we may have seen prior. My intention is to shed light and expose the hidden in order to benefit in protecting yourself or those around you. As for me, I am going to explain and share through my experience, from my experience through a woman's perspective. This is the perspective of what I have learned through my life lessons in relationships, dynamics, and the dynamic of masculine and feminine energies. Let's go to the basics first. We as humans have the free will choice to either operate in our lower self or our higher self. Yes, we have free will. Yes, we do have choice, but any and whichever choice we make, we must be willing to be responsible for the consequences that our choice creates. Because we are always co-creating with the universe, with our realities and our surroundings. Which is why every choice we decide, every choice we make, creates a ripple effect. It sends information through energy to the universal energy life force. And that is why karma exists, even if we can't see it. For every action, an equal opposite reaction will return. Because once energy is created, it cannot be destroyed, only transferred or transformed through alchemy and purification. So the topic of toxic masculinity and healthy masculinity, and how can we weed through to understand the male counterparts that we deal with. A toxic masculine is one who operates in their lower self, their lower nature, and when they operate mainly in those lower parts of themselves, this is a clear sign that they have yet to leave the matrix and have yet to seek out enlightenment. When I say they operate in their lower nature, meaning they are rooted in their lower chakras and instincts, which are mostly carnal desires and instincts and have yet to evolve from that. In which, that's how they take lead, because masculine energy is naturally meant to take the lead and lead with action. But if they are led by the wrong things, how can a woman or any other person allow that kind of masculine to lead her and or them, and or to generally rule? This is the same as leading mainly with their ego, operating with their ego. Now, ego is not necessarily bad and or evil. I like to portray the ego as the outermost shell of self, and people will fight to the end to protect that outermost shell, to not feel exposed and or vulnerable, because the ego wants to provide safety. Which is understandable, but it's not understandable when you operate fully in your ego while creating chaos and havoc to those around you by doing so. Toxic masculinity reads as predatory energy when speaking on energy. When I say predatory, I mean by seeking out the vulnerable and weak bits in order to get what they seek. Predatory energy is operating and moving with deceit and manipulation for personal gain, in the general sense. A healthy masculine is one who operates in their higher self, their higher mind. They have already conquered and ruled over their lower self and their carnal desires. Therefore, they are not led by that. They are led by their higher mind, in which is the greater good of all, righteousness. Instead of predatory energy, they operate in their protective energy, with the need and the want to protect what is of value, whether value is identified in a feminine counterpart, in a belief, in morality, in material items. A healthy masculine have true virtues and is not bounded or constrained by the matrix. He seeks out God first and lead with God. This is why many relationships end before they have a chance to begin. This is why relationships don't last as long as they used to, because too many of this type of energy and behavior has been enabled by those who did not know better and those who were too afraid to speak up, create healthy boundaries, and voice themselves. Toxic men who are deploying toxic behaviors and or mind games to seek out a woman will end up losing in their own game, because with those tactics and behaviors, they don't realize they will only attract insecure, weak women and think that because they can control them better, they will be more successful in relationships, while that is farther from the truth. This way of thinking, this mindset will only lead to an unhappy, lasting relationship. Know that a successful relationship is not measured by the length and or duration of it. This is why so many divorce rates, because people choose the wrong mate to begin with, because their thoughts, their behaviors, their tactics that lead to their choice is a toxic mindset. People miss the proper fundamentals of a long-lasting partnership by viewing it through only the practical lens and a transactional control. You choose with your ego and you expect a fulfilling, lasting relationship. Choosing a relationship with ego will only have a surface level image of a successful relationship. No woman of value, of honor, of a higher mind will ever choose that kind of man. Do the work, because relationships are a correlating independent third entity on its own between two people. You must lay the groundwork and the proper foundation in order for true success. Any choice that we make with our ego, with our ego's perception of winning, it will always be a short-term success, if any success at all. Because we are not choosing a mate basing on our own internal mechanisms and systems. Meaning, what operates us underneath it all? What do we value most? What lifestyle? What are we looking to create? Versus choosing a mate who is of weak mind so that you can tell them what to do and whatever you say goes. And that dynamic feeds into your ego to make you feel like a leader, to make you feel you have power, when that is nothing but an illusion. Is that a fulfilling relationship? Is that a true engagement? Isn't it ideal to have a real, genuine engagement with one another where what makes you tick match, and that you can better co-create the relationship alongside the universe and what the universe has planned, if you so shall choose? Or are we too scared to relinquish that control? Are we too scared to dream bigger because we don't have the perceived control over how everything will take place? And or we as a whole society that is scared of real genuine love, that we avoid it at all costs? Why do people claim they want true genuine love and yet don't want to put the effort and the groundwork in order to receive it? Why do we do this? Why do we do this to ourselves? Why are we so adamant in creating and continuing our own suffering when there's another way on the other side of comfortability? Thanks for listening and receiving this message. Please take what you need and let go of the rest. If you have enjoyed this content and it resonates, please support in any way you can. Like, share, and subscribe to this channel. If you're interested in working with me as a life coach, or if you need more information about my coaching services and specialties, I'd be happy to give you more information. Please email me. My email is down below. And I wish for all to find what they're seeking.